How's it hanging, YouTube? This is King of Feral Imps, and here I have a, well, in real life sort of deck profile, deck update, discussion kind of. Well, basically, I was able to get a lot of the actual real life digital bugs, and I just kind of wanted to show you the deck that I'm currently using. I still need to fix it up, need to get some more things, test this out, and yeah, so this is going to be a real life thing because, you know, I figured it'd be pretty fun. Now, I'm going to explain a lot of my choices, and of course, if you have any suggestions, let me know, because I could definitely use some help getting to know this deck, and of course, I'm not the absolute best deck builder, but I try, and I have fun with this. Now, of course, this isn't going to be a really, really good deck, because that's just not what digital bugs are, but it'll be fun. And also, before I begin, make sure you leave a like, to let me know if you like, if you actually enjoy the live action stuff. And then I do also have two other channels, which I'll talk about at the very end, but they're always linked in the description if you want to check them out for yourself at any time. Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and start this. So first off, for the monsters are 3 digital bug Centibit. Now, this is, well, not the main one. He's the strongest attacker, but you're not really going to use them to attack. He has the effect that while he's in attack position and he gets switched to defense position, you get to special summon any level 3 insect type monster from your deck. It doesn't have to be a digital bug. It can be any, so that just makes him really good. But, you know, most of the times, I guess you'll be summoning a digital bug so that you can go into something. But he also does have the effect that, no, he has the restriction or something, the condition. He can only be used for the Xyz as Xyz material to Xyz summon a light Xyz insect monster. So that really restricts what you can summon with him. But if you do use him as Xyz material, he does give an additional effect to the Xyz monster you summon, and that is that with him, the Xyz monster Xyz summon using him as material is able to attack all of your opponent's monsters that they control once each. So he gives like an Asura Priest effect. The next one is Digital Bug Web Soldier. Now, this one's a little weaker, but its effect is pretty good also. Again, it has the same restrictions. You can only use it to summon a light insect type Xyz monster, so similar to the other one, but he also has the effect that while he's once per turn, while he's face up on the field, you can use his effect to switch one other digital bug monster to defense position, and then special summon a level 3 insect type monster from your hand. So of course, I think you can see the combo with these two. If you have both these on the field in attack position, activate effect, switch to defense. This will special summon one from your hand, this will bring out one from the deck, and then you got 4 monsters on the field, so that's pretty nice. And then he also has the effect that if it's used as Xyz material to Xyz summon a monster, you switch every monster your opponent controls to defense, and their defense becomes 0, which is really good. But again, of course, it can only be used for the Xyz summon of a light insect type Xyz monster. And then the last one is the digital bug Cocoon Dancer. This one, of course, being a cocoon's got 2,000 defense but 0 attack. It does have the nice effect that while it's in attack position, you can switch it to defense to target one level 3 insect type monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense. I feel like I need to mention that all these guys too, whatever they special summon, comes out in defense mode, so you can't try to stack other effects, except for these two in that situation, but for the most part, that's what they do. And then, when he's used as Xyz material, the Xyz monster that, you know, was summoned with it does get like an Armades effect that if it declares an attack, your opponent can't activate any cards or effects until the end of the damage step. So, all of these work really well together. Of course, if you end up using all 3 to summon something, you get some really good effects. Can attack everything switched to defense and 0. Everything switched to defense and has 0 defense, and you get Armades. So you can pretty much just tear through all of your opponent's monsters. Granted, they don't have any other kinds of effects, but for the most part, that's what they do. So that's all for the digital bugs, and that's all we have. For the rest of the monsters, I'm playing Inzektors. These are the ones that I'm using 3 Centipede, and then 1 of each of these guys. What orientation works best? That one, probably. So 3 Centipede. Centipede, of course. Now it's the best one because we are allowed to play it at 3. When a card equipped to him is sent to the graveyard, you get to add any 1 Inzektor card from your hand to your deck. Hornet, while he's attached to an Inzektor, you can go ahead and send him to the graveyard and destroy 1 card your opponent, or not even your opponent controls, just 1 card on the field. Dragonfly, when his, similar to Centipede, but he special summons an Inzektor from the deck, that's why he's limited. And then same with Hornet being limited. And then this one, you can just use his effect from the hand to equip to an Inzektor type monster. It's the Inzektor type monster that it's equipped to. His attack becomes 2,400, and if it's sent to the graveyard, you get to target one other Inzektor card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So there are some different combos that you can go through with this. I'm sure you know most of them, but if not, there are definitely lots of videos you can look up. And of course, all of them do have the effect, well, except Giga Mantis, that once per turn you can equip one Inzektor monster from your hand or graveyard to it. So getting Hornet in the hand or in the graveyard, you can go ahead and equip it to a Centipede and then search a monster and then pop one thing. But mostly it's Dragonfly, because Dragonfly plus all these, plus another card, you can pretty much bring all of these out in one turn if you have the correct setup. And so anyway, that's all for the Inzektors. For additional monsters, I am playing 3 Howling Insect, as well as 2 Card Trooper and a Mathematician. Now, the Howling Insect is basically, not, what's the word? Well, when he's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon an Insect-type monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck in either attack or defense mode, so that's pretty good. So it's like the Giant Rats, the Mother Grizzlies, UFO Turtles, you know those guys. But this one for Insect specifically, so of course he helps, and it's better than playing like a Mystic Tomato because he is a level 3 Insect. So of course there's lots of support for it in this deck. I'm also using 2 Card Troopers because, you know, testing the deck I realized, you know what, I really just need something to start accelerating things, and I use this. You don't mind if stuff goes to the graveyard, mostly because you want Hornet in the graveyard so you can use it. If your digital bug stuff goes to the graveyard, there are ways of getting it back, and even if your single copy of Dragonfly gets to the graveyard, you can still bring it back. And then of course the Mathmat to dump the Hornet. And of course you can draw off of these if they get destroyed, so that's pretty nice. That's all for the level 3 support. And then lastly, I'm just playing 4 Kaiju, 2 Gamma Steel, and then 2 Dogoran. You can play whatever, but mostly I guess you'd want to use Gamma Steel to give your opponent because it's weaker, and then a big one. I'm using Dogoran because if by chance I, have to give this to my opponent, he's got some pretty low defense. I think the lowest defense and highest attack. I believe so, but I'm not completely sure. But, he's there for things. And then there are other things. Him having low defense, there are other plays in here, other things. But basically that's it. One reason I'm using this is I'm trying to build a deck and someone asked me, or as I'm buying the cards, someone asked me, hey, are you going to be using Kaijus with it? And I'm like, what do you mean? So he kind of explains to me, oh, well, if your opponent has stuff that can't get destroyed, you can sack over it for one of these, and it helps with the Inzektors, because Inzektors do have to target in order to get things off, with Hornet. So, if you happen to be going up against, like, Cosmo and you have a ship, now again, this isn't super competitive, but these do help, and they are fun to have, and if by chance you can pull this off, give your opponent that, take this, then you have a nice 3000 monster that you can get, that can help get game, and then that's all for monsters. 4 spells, playing 3 copies of Verdant Sanctuary, 2 MSTs, and then here are all our 1-ofs. So the Verdant Sanctuary is just a really good card. Let me move this. The effect is, it's a continuous spell card, and as long as it's on the field, when an insect-type monster is destroyed by battle, its controller can add 1 insect-type monster from the deck from their deck to the hand with the same level. So let me just show you the scenario. Now again, back when I played different variations of Inzektors, and one of my favorites was the Howling Insect Verdant Sanctuary variant, because if you have both of these on the field, he gets destroyed by battle. Off of his effect, you summon the Dragonfly, and then off of Sanctuary's effect, you add the Hornet to your hand, and then you're good to go during your turn, and you still have a normal summon. So, that helps you get some really good plays off. 2 MSTs, just basic back row removal. I guess you could use Twin Twisters, but of course, you just have to, be careful of what you discard. Of course, Hornet is always a good card to discard because you can just bring it back. That's all you're going to use it for. But that's what I'm running for now. And then Soul Charge just helps so much with getting combos off. Say you try something and it doesn't work out, all your Inzektors are in the grave, you can bring it back with this and then just go off. You don't get to attack, but you can at least devastate your opponent pretty hard. And then that's another reason why the Card Troopers aren't too much of like a burden. The Foolish Burial for the one Hornet. And yes, even though it is just 1 card specifically for Hornet, you can still use it here and there. You have other graveyard reviving stuff. If by chance you want to ditch stuff and bring it back, then hey, you could do that. 1 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. This one, you destroy as many monsters on the field as you can, and then just special summon 1 Kaiju to each players to each side of the field, and that's it. They have to attack if able, can be destroyed, and then it also has the effect that while it's in the graveyard, but not during the turn you activated it, you can banish it to search a Kaiju. So mostly, it's for this because we are using a Kaiju engine, so, you know, if you happen to have this, then this is good because it gets 2 cards out of your deck. If you're in like a sticky situation like that, you can go ahead and do this, attack over that, and then you just have this, and all your opponent's monsters are pretty much gone. But and then again, it can search for Kaijus if you need that. And then the 1 Inzektor Sword, this effect, this has the effect that it's an equip card, and the equip monster gains 800 attack. And then I think if it's destroyed, it also does something else. But or what was it? Yeah. If it's sent to the graveyard, you can take back another Inzektor monster from your graveyard to your hand, which I mean you could use, but for the most part, what it's there for is because, you know, Dragonfly and Hornet, and where's the Centipede? That's gonna sound really weird on camera, but you know, basically once you know, after you use the Dragonfly and equip Hornet, pop, special summon the Centipede. Well, you can go ahead and attach this to the Dragonfly, that to the Centipede, use Hornet to destroy that, search another card from the hand, and then special summon another Inzektor. So, combos. If you didn't know that. And then that's it for the spells. And then lastly for the traps, this is all just 3 Call the Haunted. Now, I think I've mentioned that if you're playing Verdant Sanctuary Inzektors, Call of the Haunted is really important, you know, just to bring back stuff. And again, there are times where, I mean, different plays I'll be using if I can't, like, run through, you know, a full Inzektor combo. Then I can get some decent stuff, and then with Dragonfly and then one of the Centipedes, I can Xyz into something, detach the Dragonfly, Call the Haunted it back, and then I get the effect again, and I can start doing some cool stuff. And again, you know, oops, I hit something, and then again, it you can do some neat stuff with this, and it helps with the digital bugs as well. It helps especially with Centibit, because, you know, if Centibit is in your graveyard, during your opponent's end phase, you can activate Call the Haunted, bring this out in attack position during your turn, manually switch it to defense, and then use its effect to special summon from something from the deck. And of course, you can always use this to summon your Dragonfly if you need to, and do shenanigans from there. 2 bug emergency. What it does is you target 2 level 3 bug monsters in your graveyard and special summon them, but their effects are negated. But still, that helps for some Xyz stuff, and then especially if you're going to be going for digital bugs. It also has an effect that you can banish it and increase the levels of the insect-type monsters you control to go for bigger Xyz, which you can do, and you can pull off some neat stuff, but for the most part, I'm just playing 2. I was playing 3, just 3 of each of these, but I had to fit some other stuff in there, at least for this experimental build. And then just a Solemn Warning, because Solemn Warning's good. That's all for the main deck. For the extra deck, I am using all of the digital bug Xyz monsters. 3 of the Scaradiator, 3 of the Corbage, and then 2 of the Rhinoceros. Now, these all have effects that you can Xyz summon them with. You can only Xyz summon them with light attribute insect-type monsters, so it's very restrictive. You can only use the digital bugs to summon these, but they all do also have the effect that you can use more than 2 to summon them, so as many as you want. So you can bring this out with like 5 materials. That's really good. Let's see. You can also detach 2 Xyz materials to rank up to the other one. That's not his effect. His effect is that you can detach 2 Xyz materials from him, or actually not just him, just any rank 3 or rank 4 light attribute insect-type monster, and then rank up onto him, and then keep any leftover Xyz materials. Same with Rhinoceros onto this one, or a level 5 or 6. They do also have other effects. This one is that, let's see, what was his main effect? Is that, yeah, you can detach, well, once per turn, you can detach 2 Xyz materials, and then change the defense position of 1 monster on the field. He does also have the effect that if he destroys a monster by battle, once per turn, you can attach that monster he destroyed as material, so that's really neat. Corbage has the effect that you can detach 1 Xyz material from it, and then spin a defense position monster your opponent controls. This one, you can detach an Xyz material from him, and then destroy the 1 monster your opponent controls with the highest defense, and if it's a tie, you get to choose. And he also has the effect that he inflicts piercing battle damage if attacking a defense position monster. So, you know, these are really neat. Again, for the most part, he's going to have all the added effects from the digital bugs because he's level 3, if you rank up onto him. Even if he keeps any of the materials from the old one, you don't, he doesn't keep the effects. But of course, you know, if they happen to be higher level, through the bug emergency and you summon this with that, then he gets the effects. And there's some really cool stuff that you can do. But again, just look up the effects of these cards, because they are pretty long, so yeah. But basically that's what I'm playing, just because I want to maximize on the digital bug stuff, mostly for fun. And then I'm not playing with a full extra deck, but these are ideas. Giga Brilliant, which actually I really should be playing more Giga Brilliant, probably 3, just because he's a light attribute Xyz type, insect type monster that only needs like generic materials, engineer, because engineer is pretty good. And then of course you can use the effect to switch Centipede to defense and trigger his effect. Alucard's good, Leviathan Dragon's good because I just like her. The minds of her. I like her in Verdant Sanctuary Inzektors just because she can quickly detach stuff. Like I said, that whole thing with Dragonfly. So that's something good. Dante, I haven't picked up a Dante even though they're only like $6, but that's something you could do. Well, you probably should. And then just, I guess, any other rank 3 stuff works out. Even Break Sword if you can afford that. But mostly, I guess, Giga Brilliant is most important. Again, because you can rank him up into that. So that's really cool. Let me see, was there anything else I want to say about the extra deck? Not so much. Anyway, that has been it for this Digital Bug deck profile update, I guess, discussion. Again, I could use any suggestions that you have in the comments, that you want to leave in the comments below. This isn't, what's the word? I mean, this is more of a fun way, because if you want to play like a really good strict Digital Bugs, then I guess you can drop the Inzektors, but if you want to play Inzektors and want to play like the best version of Inzektors, then you got to use Digital Bugs. It's weird how that works, but yeah, this is what I'm using now. What is it? As far as Speedroid Terratop, something like that. I thought about using it. I kind of was going to, but they're like $11 each, I think, just because it's so good. And then again, like, for the most part, I want to be able to summon the, what's his face? The Scaradiator. I want to be able to summon the Scaradiator like relatively consistently. It's my same reason for not playing like Mass Chameleon in Umbral Horrors, just because I'm using something that needs specific Xyz material, and I just kind of want to be able to summon it on a whim. Now, yes, I do play other level 3 stuff, but all of that helps. And again, I want to use the Inzektor engine as well, because it's pretty fun. I can bring out with this engine as well. Anyway, if you enjoyed the content, remember to subscribe. And remember, I do have 2 other channels that are always linked in the description. One is a Pokemon channel, which I have revamped recently and is really cool. It is called Gator Rex. I do Pokemon theory stuff. I'm going to start doing more battles on there. Just a lot of fun stuff. I also do some of the Pokemon TCG over there, so you should definitely check it out. And again, like I said, it's picking up recently as of late. Which, yeah, so that'd be really cool if you can help me get to 100 subs on there, because, because I'm almost there. But again, only if check it out if you actually really like Pokemon. Anyway, also remember to leave a like to show your support, as well as a comment to give me suggestions, talk about your builds of the deck, and tell me how horrible mine is. Anyway, this has been King of Feral Imps. Have a nice day. So first off, for the most fireworks.